All right, folks, welcome back. We are back better than ever. Rob, how we doing?
Good. What's going on, Tom?
Not much, man. Just another beautiful Tuesday afternoon. It is scorching out, and it is going to be a heater all week, Rob.
Yeah, it's back to the 90s again?
Yeah, I heard 100 plus tomorrow. And it's supposed to storm too, so it's going to be toasty.
Oh, God,
and I'm supposed to play tomorrow at Whitetail Ridge.
So, are you really?
Yeah. So
that sounds terrible.
I know. I'm going to need to hydrate a ton today in order for tomorrow. We're supposed to be playing Twilight tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah. So hopefully that works out.
I know we're trying to get in Heritage Bluffs on Thursday.
Thursday? It's gonna feel good to get back to Heritage Bluffs for you, I believe.
Yeah. I'm excited about that one. It's my home away from home, I feel like. So
right. Speaking of golf, Rob, we played a ton of golf. We will get to that shortly. But did you catch any of the Rocket Mortgage?
I did. I wanted to see if Finau could go back to back. Yeah, I watched probably the back half of it, probably from like holes 11 on. Did some stuff in the morning. But yeah, caught the end of it. I like him a lot. I'm glad he went back to back. That's awesome. I'm happy for him. I always like seeing that emotion at the end when the guy wins. Maybe like all the people on Twitter are saying, maybe it's opening the floodgates. Maybe like now he has that confidence to do what he thought he always could do. But yeah, I like that he has a unique swing. His putting was just on point on Sunday, I felt like. But the other cool thing is like he had a shit start to the year, right? Like he played terrible like in the beginning of the year. So it's good to see him bounce back and 2 wins in a row now.
Big fan of Tony's probably in my top. He's got to be in my top 5. Maybe not all time, I was going to say, but definitely current players. Probably has been for a while. Just his career in general. How he started. He came in at 17 years old, turned pro.
Big break, man. He's a big break.
Yep. Kind of just grinded for a while.
Yeah.
And then there was this kind of light around him that he just couldn't finish. Probably the last 3-4 years. I mean, the guy's got a bazillion top 10 finishes, probably on a top 5 finishes.
Yep.
So it's nice to see him break through. I hope he goes on a serious run, like a Scheffler run.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
I would love to see him in the top, 3 players in the world.
Yeah.
So yeah, good for Tony. I mean, just a super good dude.
All the confidence with that driver too, man. Holy crap, dude. Just like they even put a second thought to it. Just start piping him out there. It was crazy.
Right. He smokes the ball. I mean, he's probably one of the best ball strikers out there. And he's obviously a huge stick off the tee, but yeah, great dude. Seems like a good dad, family guy.
Mm-hmm.
Seems super down to earth, humble. So good for Tony. I only caught maybe like the last 30 minutes of it, to be honest, which was fine. Kind of saw everything I needed to see, which was whatever. Speaking of golf, Rob, we went out to Lawsonia and we played ourselves 45 holes in roughly 9 hours.
Yeah, we got that. Yep.
9.5 hours, something like that.
Yeah, it was a long day, but it was a good day. Like the ride out there wasn't as bad. Even the ride home, I don't think was too bad for what we did all day. But yeah, it was just, man, it was an awesome experience for sure.
Yeah. So I picked you up at 5 a.m. Took us about 2:45 to get out there. We teed off at 9 a.m. We played the Woodlands Course first.
Yeah.
What was your thought on the Woodlands Course?
It was all right. I mean, it wasn't anything special to me, I don't think. I mean, like Adam, Golf Unfiltered, he had a good podcast yesterday drop on it. Am I happy we played it? Sure. Yeah. If we go back, am I playing that again? Probably not. I'd probably rather play links all day, to be honest with you. Obviously, like wide open. Like I'd rather play something like that than the tree lined course. Because that's just me. I mean, the driver isn't always on point. So, But Woodlands, it was pretty. I'm glad we played it. It was pretty cool to start off that way. We flew through the round. I felt like it was a good warm up for the links for sure. But I think it felt like any Woodlands course around here that we play, type deal thing. To me, it was nothing too crazy. I don't think. Greens were nice. Everything rolled pretty good. But like I said, I enjoyed it. I just don't know if I'd like go and play it again. I played links all day, like I said.
Yeah, I think that's fair. But we are also water and oil. So I'm more of a Woodlands guy. I like the Woodlands course. Did it blow me away? Not really. Kind of, they reminded me a lot of Whitaker Woods. Maybe that with like, a mixture of maybe like old oak and old evergreen, heavily wooded, some corky holes, but nonetheless, I mean, fun layout. I think to your point, I think I will agree with you on this. I think I'm happy we played it.
Yeah.
And I think if I went back up there, I would kind of do the same thing. I would play Woodlands first, just to get warmed up, and then play links, and then probably play links, another time.
Yeah. No, it was great.
Yeah. I mean, I enjoyed it. It was tough. I mean, there was a lot of, especially with us being, playing there for the first time, there was some holes, some pin locations, like we had no idea where we were going.
Sure.
And then, like for instance, number 2, you got to hit over that tree.
Yeah.
Guarding the green, like little things like that. Course knowledge would have been helpful, but for the most part, I thought the Woodlands, it was great. I tend to like Woodlands. I mean, by now everybody knows this, kind of just the artistry behind like how the holes are cut out, and you're kind of more focused on just that hole opposed to links where everything's kind of just wide open, and kind of get distracted. For me at least, I just get distracted looking around. But so yeah, we played the Woodlands, and then we grabbed lunch, which was awesome.
Yeah, it's good.
Really good food. And then we played the links. The links was unbelievable. What were your thoughts on the links course?
I love the links, man. I don't mind the blind tee shots. I think that's pretty cool aspect of it. I like that it was wide open. I love that pretty much you can find your ball anywhere. Whether it was in the fescue or not, you could still hit it out of there pretty much 90% of the time. I didn't, I expected to, when I think of links, I expected a lot more roll out of the ball off the tee, to be honest with you. I felt like that was one thing that was missing. But as far as like the routing and the types of holes, like 9 was awesome, even though we screwed it up the first time we played it, right? We all tried to cut a little bit too much off because it was deceiving, that par 5. But no, I truly did enjoy it. The greens were awesome. I think they rolled true. I think a lot of them rolled fast. Some rolled slow, but the chipping was awesome. That's my favorite. Like the short game is my favorite thing to do. So that was cool to play. The par 3s were awesome. So I thoroughly enjoyed the links. I'm glad we got back out for another 9, at least on the front. So how about you?
Yeah, I would agree with most of all that. Here's the thing. Don't get me wrong. Is Lawsonia, in particular, the links course, was it great? Yes. Did it blow my dick off, Rob? No, it did not. Cruising in, here's the weird thing. Cruising in, when you look on the left and you see the links course, you're like, holy shit. You see all of those contours and undulations and the raised greens, and you see a lot of that from, a distance.
Yeah.
I would argue when you're playing it, you don't really see all that. It's more so like flat. And then even to your point, there wasn't a lot of like run-ups. Everything was kind of bowl shaped, which I tend to like more anyways. So I didn't have a problem with that. Yeah, I would agree. There wasn't a ton of rollout, on drives, or even unless it was like downhill or even into the greens. Like, besides 9, like where you had to come up short and kind of bump it up and just let it release. There wasn't a ton of that. A lot of sneaky greens, though. I thought the links greens were, 5 times harder than the Woodlands.
For sure. Yeah, I agree with that.
But just overall in general, I mean, insane course. I mean, I would easily give it an 8 out of 10, and I would for sure go back in a heartbeat.
The views are just breathtaking. Like, when we're on 10 green, like that was, like Adam said, it's completely crazy how you could literally see the whole back nine from the 10th green.
Right. And talking to a former CDT guy, he brought up a really good point. And I think this goes to, part of the reason that it maybe didn't, blow my dick off is that years ago, the allure of Lawsonia back in the day was, it used to be $60, $70 on the weekends, right? I mean, can you imagine going and playing that place for $60? Like, that's a complete steal.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So now, even though the 135 unlimited play is still a complete steal, like that's a no-brainer, I could see, the value of it back in the day, 8 years ago, going to play that course for $50. If that was the case, then yeah, that place would absolutely blow my dick off. But I think the value just isn't there. I think it was just a little bit overhyped, not too crazy. I still kind of had to keep it in the back of my mind, like, hey, this is a public course. Like, it's not private, kind of had to keep that. But like, I don't know, man. I kind of left there a little underwhelmed, wanting a little bit more. But hey, I'll give credit where credit's due. I would go back in a heartbeat.
I guess I'm the complete. It didn't blow my dick off, but I think the value was way there for what we got to do. If it's 135 all day, I mean, I think next time you stay the night before, right, and you play from sun up to sundown for.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's crazy.
So that value is there. I'm talking about like 5-6 years ago when Lawsonia kind of came on the scene, right?
Sure.
And the value of playing it for $50, just a course. He was telling me that you used to be able to play the links for $50 on like a Saturday. That value is crazy to me. Still, the value today is very good, but I think it's kind of dropped off a little bit from what he was saying. But yeah, I totally agree with you. I would stay. What I would do for sure next time is play 36 one day, stay overnight, wake up, play another 36, and I'd probably do Woodlands links, and then day 2 just do links.
Yeah.
Something like that.
But like when we got done with the links, so I thought that was crazy awesome that, we just rolled up back to the first tee. No one's there. Like we had the whole front nine to ourselves. It was like, we thought we were doing something wrong. It was crazy.
Literally crazy. It was a Thursday evening at like 4:00. It was absolutely beautiful out. It was golden hour. And we all looked around and we're like, this is bizarro. Like, are we not supposed to be out? Why is nobody else here?
Right.
And then we were just like, that's got to be just like Wisconsin.
Yeah. Right.
But then when we pulled back in, they did say there were still 18 carts out there, and we all started laughing because we didn't see one of them.
Yeah, they weren't on the front nine, that's for sure.
No. Wagers, Rob. We got waxed in match 1 by Mr. GU and McKwen Media.
Yeah, Adam had a nice smooth swing. Kris was on point. Yeah, it was back and forth majority of that round. And then
it was. We
went press and roll and press, and that's why I jumped way the hell up there. But yeah, it was a good match. It was fun. I think it was even for the most part. So no, it was no complaints.
I take full responsibility. I got a little crazy on pretty much like 16, 17, 18. Yeah. I think Kris was popping on 18, and I decided to re-roll. And the match was already pressed, and it wasn't good, but it could have went the other way.
Sure.
Still, we only lost, I think, $30 on the first match.
Yeah.
But points wise, we got waxed, and then we came back the second match.
Yeah.
Won that. And then you and I were our wagers. So I think you took me down in the front nine of the Woodlands.
I lost the rest of them.
And then
your first round at Links was pretty impressive for not knowing the course at all. You played pretty good.
I appreciate that. Woodlands got me. I just got in too much trouble with not knowing the course. I felt like I hit the ball well all day. I putted atrocious all day.
I was going to say, you had some big misreads on the greens.
Oh, yeah. Big misreads. Yep. Especially on the links, too. Like there was like 2 or 3 birdie putts within 7 feet. And they weren't even close.
Yeah.
Whatever. Luckily, we were able to escape with pars there. But
I enjoyed that the 5-3-1 too for the last time we played. I've never done that, so that was a good little game to play for 3 people.
Yeah, 5-3-1's awesome. It's super easy. I hate Wolf, so
yeah,
it's especially with 3 guys. It's very easy to do, and you still take in handicap into account and so forth and so on. It's just my cousin taught me that game. Shout out Jeff. Yeah, just a great game for those guys listening. Pretty much, let's see how we could explain this super quick. So you have 3 guys, 1 guy birdies, 1 guy pars, 1 guy's bogeys. You could only distribute 9 points on each hole. So birdie would get 5, second guy would get 3, last guy would get 1.
Mm-hmm.
If the last 2 guys tied, they would split 4, so it'd be 2 and 2. So no matter how you put it, it's got to equal 9.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just you determine how many points are what they're worth and so on. And then you just count them out at the end.
No, that was a quick, easy, fun game. I did enjoy that.
And then speaking of golf, Rob, let's talk about Ctt Golf. We just wrapped up on all 3 tours, the 3rd major of the year, 3 down, 1 to go. We just wrapped up the U.S. Open. Let's see. Cantigny was the U.S. Open on the West Side Tour. And then we had Thunderhawk up on the North Side Tour. We need to clear the year a little bit here, Rob, with a quick little rant. So there's been, let's see, how do we put this nicely? There's been some miscommunication, I would say, amongst the player handbook, just in general. Just people in general not knowing that you need a new attester for each of the majors and the playoff. So meaning somebody that has not attested for your round at all through the year, right? There was quite a few people unhappy that their scores got basically wiped and they lost points. And we got some emails about it. But here's the thing, Rob, like we try to make this thing as very straightforward, stress-free as possible, right? It's the whole reason we put in a ton of work to build this website, to put all the resources out there so that our guys have everything readily available.
Right.
If you would just read the player handbook, and that's why we harped on it early in the year. Hey, especially for former guys. Hey, I know you've probably read this in the past, but guess what? This is like the Bible. This is the most important thing on the website. Please reread it. Some things have changed. Just dive into it. Make sure you know what's going on. We've also shared it on our Slack channel, social media channels. So when it comes down to something like that, that's essentially why the player handbook exists, is because if we have conflicts down the road, we say, well, that's what the player handbook's for. That's what, that's the reference for the player handbook. Everything is in there. Everything you need to know, it's all laid out for you. So just wanted to clear that up. So moving forward, the last major, you need a new attester. For the playoff, you need a new attester.
Yep.
That's also part of the reason we brought on the T sheet, the Slack channel, to be able to find new guys.
Yeah, to help you guys out.
Right. And the thing is, like, if you use some creativity, you don't necessarily have to find, you don't have to go play with just some random guy. You could play with your same group or 1 or 2 guys from your original group, bring on another guy, and then that guy could essentially be an attester for all 3 of you guys.
Right.
So there's little ways to get creative, especially if you have 2 groups. You could just swap a player.
Yep.
And they can attest for everybody, or at least for those 3 guys in that group. So yeah, I mean, do you have anything else to?
No, I mean, I have to agree with you, So I know it's hard and I know it's challenging sometimes to find people to play with, but that's what Slack is there for. And that's what the tee sheet's there for. I mean, we're a golf community, right? That's the whole point of kind of putting this together, is to meet other gearheads or, weekend warriors or whatever you want to call us.
Right.
Just to get out there and play. So I understand sometimes it can be difficult to find somebody. But at the end of the day, each tour has, a certain amount of people. So it's, the emails are there, Slack is there. It's like Tom said, like, you can get creative, like, just get, if you play with the same guy every time, just try to get, one more guy in there. I mean, there's always guys looking for rounds, right? I see it on Slack. I see it on the tee sheet when we're filling it out, that there's always, random guys just putting themselves in there. So,
right. And you just brought up a good point that I want to touch base on. So saying, playing with the same guy. So that's kind of where this rule came in, right? We would love for you guys to play with the same people every event. It's just not feasible, because there's money at stake, because, the sandbagging history of just any type of amateur golf league,
golf in general,
right? Yeah. So that's the reason we came out with this mixture. So 60% of the time, the other 6 events, you could play with the same guy every event.
Yeah.
The other 40%, the 4 majors, you could still play with that same guy, but you need to bring in another new guy, right, so that he can attest for your major score. That's all we're asking. I think that holds up a lot of the integrity, of the league and the rules of play.
Yeah. I mean, golf is a game of honor, right? I mean,
right.
So at the end of the day, there's a lot of money at stake. There's a lot of people involved in this. So, I mean, we're just trying to make it fair and legit for, people that, I'm not saying have to take off completely seriously, but I mean, this is, it is what it is with, like, there's money involved. So.
Correct. And and don't get me wrong, we're not trying to make it seem like something it's not. We want it to be laxed and stress-free. And that's why we have built the website and put out these things that, like the player handbook, where if you just look at it and say, oh, well, I could do this, I could do that, and then plan out, your events, it's pretty straightforward and pretty stress-free. And then we take care of all the points and the payouts and stuff like that. So we, trust me, from the feedback that we've got in the last 4 years, that's ultimately why we're here today, is because of you guys and the feedback that we've gotten. And sure, we're all open ears at the end of the year about what could be better and what, maybe needs to change. And we'll get to that point. But, like I said, for now, the player handbook is the biggest, most important thing that you could possibly know on the CGT website. So got that out, Rob. Let's move on. Let's talk about the Wyndham Book It with T picks. Who do you like?
All right, let's hear them. Huh?
Do you know anybody in the field?
No, I don't. Is Finau playing again? This is what, the last one before the playoffs, right? So this one's a huge one, isn't it?
It's either one more or 2 more.
Either way, it's, the guy's trying to get in top, 125, right? So,
yeah. All right. Book It with T. Wyndham picks his long shot. Jaeger 130-1. HV3 35-1. Scott 35-1. Siwoo 28-1. And T's favorite to win the Wyndham, Webb Simpson 20-1. And you can book it with T. What are your thoughts on old Webb's?
Yeah, Jaeger was up there this past weekend. I think he finished top 10, didn't he? I don't know about Webb. I do like HV3. I'd like to see him win. Scott was playing pretty good too, so I don't disagree with his picks. We have to trust in T, right?
Yeah, our trust is in T, Rob. Speaking of, kind of circling back to our car ride, Lawsonia. That brings us right into the top 3. Are you
okay?
The top 3, Rob?
We did talk a lot about a lot of things in the car ride. Your cruise control bullshit, and some other things. So I'm curious what your top three questions.
Well, let's start there. So for all the listeners out there, Rob is not a cruise control guy. No. We kind of had a little cruise control tutorial in the car, and Rob was not having any of it. He likes to be in control, although, all you got to do is worry about the steering wheel. And then we somehow got on the discussion of prime rib. And things went really south. I told Rob that I thought prime rib was extremely overrated. And he said, "What?" And I said, "Yeah, I don't want to roast. Just give me a grilled steak. I want some char on that bad boy." I mean, a prime rib essentially is a giant roast. And I think it's outdated. I think it needs to get off the list. But that brings us into the top three. I want to know your top three favorite steaks.
I mean, dear Lord, man, you can't throw it under the bus just like that. I mean, that is a prime steak, man. That is top notch. What do you feel before I go through my top three? What do you think about Ruth Chris?
I think I've only been once or twice. I liked it.
Okay, so you like a butter steak?
Yeah, I'm more. Well, we'll get into my list, but you'll.
All right. Top three. I go number three is a nice little ribeye. Two would have to be a New York strip. And then number one, of course, is prime rib, man. You cannot go wrong with a king cut prime rib, horseradish cream sauce on the side. Perfect.
You just put the prime rib at one?
Yes. If there's a prime rib on a menu at a steakhouse that I'm at, that's what I'm ordering. I don't even have to look at anything else. Gene and Giorgetti's, great prime rib. Shout out Old Louis Chop House on 103rd. Great prime rib.
I mean, I get that the cut of meat is a steak, but how are we calling a prime rib a steak when it's not even charred?
Oh, man.
Or any kind of
medium rare prime rib, king cut all day.
No browning, no nothing. You just, okay, so you got a roast as your number one. That's fine. Top three. Number three, I'll go with the T-bone. The old T-bone.
Yeah.
Number two, well, circling back to
bring home the bone for Teddy. Is that why?
Yeah. Well, I just like how you have the strip on one side and the fillet on the other. You kind of get a mix of both worlds. That's if the number one's not there. Very rarely do I get a T-bone, but I'll mix it in here and there. Number two, I'm going with a strip. I think a strip's hard to beat. It's pretty straightforward. You know what you're going to get every time.
Yeah.
And then number one is the ribeye. I think it's the king of steaks. I think it's a perfect marbling of fat, content or ratio. Great marbling. Chars well, eats well. I mean, there's nothing like a good cooked ribeye.
But what size are we going with here? What's with you on that?
The bigger, the better. I've never come across a steak that has been too big.
No. Size. Yeah, you can never. The size of a steak. Yeah, give me the biggest one. I'm talking about size. What are you pairing with this?
Sides. I'm a big baked potato guy.
Yeah. Oh, I love loaded baked potato.
Yeah, give me a baked potato. I'll do a corn on the cob. I'll do asparagus. I'll do mac and cheese. I'll do just about anything besides like green beans. They could take a hike.
Are you Brussels sprouts guy?
Nah, they could take a hike.
Oh yeah, get them out of here. Hate the smell of them. There's a group of 7 of us that do a different steakhouse downtown, and it's always one guy ordering Brussels sprouts, and I want to just yak.
Yeah, I mean they stink. Yeah, for the most part, sides not too picky on. I mean,
are you a wedge salad guy?
Yeah, I like a good wedge salad.
Oh yeah, here we go. Now we're talking.
Oh yeah, now we're cooking. I'll do a wedge salad. I'll do a Caesar. I'll do a house Italian. Pretty much throw any kind of salad at me and I'm eating it.
All right.
I mean, even at a wedding. I mean,
got to.
Oh yeah. I mean, at that point, it's like,
get rid of the soup. Just give me a salad.
See, I 1000% disagree with that.
What?
The soup is some of the best at the wedding. Not in terms of quality, but in terms of like, because you're already halfway, off the edge by the time dinner comes.
Sure.
You're feeling good, and you just need to get something in your system.
That's true.
Okay. There's nothing like a cream of chicken wedding soup to get the boys back on the level.
Get that base in the stomach. There you go.
Yeah, coat the stomach. And then that's what I'm saying. It's usually the salad gets pounded and then the soup. And then I kind of don't really touch my dinner.
No.
I mean, I pick at it a little bit, but I'm already back on the dance floor.
No.
Cut and rug. But that does it, Rob.
That's a great ending.
That does it for episode 41. Until next time, big guy. We'll see you in the fairway.
See you in the fairway, Tom.
See you, buddy.